Hey guys, what's up? Mimi G here. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Today we're going to be doing a sew along to my latest spring pattern, 9754, and we're going to be doing view A and B, which is the tank top. I love this tank, but this is not a learn to sew video, so if you are completely new to sewing, you might want to check out my online courses at sewitacademy.com. All right, guys, this tank top was designed for knit fabric, so you can use a jersey, an interlock, a rib knit, or even a double knit or a lightweight ponte. All right, guys, cut out your pattern pieces, get your notions ready, and let's sew. All right, guys, we're gonna start with pattern piece 4 and 5 with right sides facing. You wanna first make sure and you pin at your double notch. So right sides facing. I'm gonna align my double notch and pin. You're gonna have a little tip here that extends, that's normal. You're gonna pin the other piece the same way, and then we're gonna head to the sewing machine and we're gonna stitch using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once you're done with that, you're gonna go ahead and press your seam allowance towards your center back, and you're gonna top stitch. Okay, once we have our sides attached to our back, we're gonna go ahead and pin our shoulders together. So you're gonna grab pattern piece number 1. This is the front. We're doing the zippered version, so make sure that you cut the right pattern piece. You're gonna go ahead and place these right sides facing. Okay, now that you have both your shoulders pinned, go ahead and stitch across using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so now once we have your shoulders sewn, go ahead and grab your neckband. You're gonna fold it in half and give it a good press. We're gonna go ahead and pin this to our neckline. So because we're doing the zipper version, the neckband is gonna go all the way to the center front, so make sure that it's lined up and pin. Make sure to match up any notches and dots that were on your neckband. Now I'm going to go start at the other end and pin there. Okay, now your neckband is shorter than your neck, so you want to make sure that as you're sewing that you have some ease there, right? Because you're going to ease that onto your neckline. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stitch this down using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and attach our zippers. So to the wrong side, I have folded and pressed a 1/2 inch. And now what we're gonna do is, with that folded edge, I want you to open your zipper up. The top of your zipper, where your metal teeth or your plastic teeth, whatever you're using, is gonna line up with the top of your neckband, okay? This little part up here, we're gonna tuck it in just a minute. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pin it so that your fabric edge is almost at your zipper teeth. Don't get too close because then it could be hard to open. And I'm gonna go ahead and pin this in place. I find it easier to do this when the zipper's open. We're gonna stitch using a 1/4 inch top stitching. And then once we get to the top, and I'll show you this on camera at the machine, we're gonna turn the top of our zipper tape to the inside and then catch it. All right, so I have this pinned. I have it unpinned over at the top because I'm gonna go ahead and tuck the zipper tape to the inside and then fold it over like that. And then I'm gonna pin. Try and catch that there. Okay, once you have one side stitched, I want you to go ahead and close your zipper so that you can align the other side exactly. So you're gonna go ahead and place the folded edge so that the ends are exactly where they should be, okay? Also, you might want to make sure that your seam lines match up, right? So when you stitched your neckband onto your neckline, if you were slightly off, then one side could be taller or shorter than the other. So you want to double check that both seam lines are where they should be. Now I have marked on the other side of my zipper tape where the bottom on this side ended so that I know that this needs to end in the same exact place. Now go ahead and pin this, and you're going to top stitch it 1/4 inch away, same way as you did this side. All right, go ahead and grab pattern piece number 2, and with right sides facing, we're gonna go ahead and pin these together. Make sure to align your notches. Okay, we're gonna go to the sewing machine. We're gonna stitch using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. If you used a metal zipper, please be cautious when you get here that you're gonna be stitching over your zipper. I stop and manually turn my wheel to go over the metal teeth. If you're using plastic, it'll be a little easier, but I just wanted to point out if you're using a metal zipper to be very careful when you get here. You don't wanna break your needle. Okay, so I went ahead and also did my top stitching, and if your zipper is super long, you can go ahead and trim it now. All right, guys, if you chose to do view B, that does not have the zipper, you cut out a different front piece. So if you did the zipper, this piece here for your front was piece number 1. This is piece number 8. And there is a slight variation also in the neckband, which I'm about to show you. So for your neckband, I've gone ahead and done it, but you're gonna turn in 1/2 of an inch and press, and 1/2 of an inch on the other short end and press. Then you're going to fold it in half and press, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and press under, again, 1/2 inch on either short end, and then fold it wrong sides facing in half and give it a good press. So I have gone ahead and attached the shoulders, okay? Everything else beyond this point is gonna be exactly the same, so you'll just continue along after this. And we're gonna go ahead and pin our band to our neckline. So you're gonna grab one short end, and you should have had a fold line marking on your pattern piece that you should have transferred, whether you did it with dots. I always just make a little tiny notch so that it's easier for me to see. So I know that I'm gonna put this edge, I'm gonna make sure that it lines up with that notch or fold line, whichever you marked. And then hopefully you transferred your dots so that you know where your shoulder points are, where you're gonna be matching that up to your shoulder. And you're gonna pin this all the way around, making sure, again, that you stop and pin at that fold line. Now, once you have it all pinned, you're just gonna go ahead and stitch it down. Remember, you're using, again, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You're gonna start at the beginning of your band, and you're gonna sew all the way around till you get to the other side. Okay, once you have your neckband attached, what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold along that fold line, and go ahead and pin, and you're going to stitch using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You're basically just following your existing stitching line and stitching through. What's gonna happen is it'll end up like this, and when you turn it right side out, it'll be nice and finished on the front, and then you can go ahead and press the remaining part of your fold line. Okay, once you have the front nicely pressed, you're gonna go ahead and make sure that they are touching each other, and then you're gonna grab your bottom piece, pattern piece number 2, and with right sides facing, match up your notches and stitch along the bottom using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now everything after this point is exactly the same as the zippered method, so you're just gonna continue along. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab pattern piece number 3, and we're gonna go ahead and pin this to the sides. So with right sides facing, you wanna make sure to align that notch that you have there. You have a second notch here. Okay, you're gonna pin the other one to the other side the same way. Now, once you have both sides pinned, we're gonna go ahead and stitch using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. You're gonna press your seams towards the center front and do your top stitching. You're gonna stitch and then top stitch the same exact way on the other side. Okay, so now that we have the entire front completed, we can go ahead and stitch our side seams. So right side's facing. We're gonna go ahead and pin our side seams. You have a notch. You're gonna pin your other side seam the same way, and then at your machine, you're just gonna stitch straight down using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Then again, you wanna make sure that you press your seam and top stitch. All right, we're gonna be using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now you want to turn your seam allowance down, and then if you want, it's optional, you can top stitch along the edge. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attach the band. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch the short ends together using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I just wanted to point out that I find it easier to press this in half first and then stitch the short ends together, then stitch the short ends together, and then try and fold and press all the way around. This just makes it easier for me. So go ahead and press, pin your short ends together, and go ahead and stitch this using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pin our band. You wanna make sure that your seam matches up first with your side seam. So I'm gonna pin there first. Now it's really important that you transferred all of the dots that were on this neckband pattern, because it's really gonna help you to line up where the stretch is on this band. So make sure that you line up your dots. I turned my dots into notches because I find it easier. And then as we sew using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around, you're going to slightly pull as you're stitching. All right, let's go ahead and stitch this on. All right, guys, so all you have left to do is to finish the hem. You can either serge and then turn under your 5/8 of an inch, or do a narrow hem if that's what you want. I actually like mine the way that it is. I just serged the bottom and then did a top stitching line at 5/8 of an inch because I like the streetwear vibe of it, so I'm just gonna leave it kind of raw like this. Once you're done with that, you are all finished. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure that you're following me on Instagram if you're not following already, at Mimi G Style, or on TikTok, also at Mimi G Style. I can't wait to see all of your makes. Until next time, peace.